Vegetable soup is one simple but very tricky soup that you have to say 5 Hail Mary, 1 Our Father, and 1 Glory be to God before you start cooking. But let me teach you the trick to cooking this soup, because if you don't know the trick, you will end up cooking River Niger. In a pot, add any protein of your choice. I used goat meat and beef for this, and I also used dried fish. Then proceed to spice that up and also add salt. Please be very cautious with the quantity of salt you add. As always, you stir that in to combine. Here comes the tricky part. Add just a little quantity of water to your protein for the parboiling process. Just a little. Because if you add too much, you are about to cook River Niger. So also add onions because this is vegetable soup, okay? Also add some pepper to your mix, depending on how spicy you want it to be. Then turn that in to combine. I had to bring the camera forward to show you the little amount of water I was cooking with, okay? You don't need to add too much water. This is your soup base. After a while, I checked on the meat, then I proceeded to add in ogirope to it. I think Yoruba people call it dawa dawa, yes? So I stirred that in and covered it to cook. I left the meat on fire for a long time until the water quantity in it reduced drastically. Look at the water quantity. It is well reduced right now, even thicker than it was. At this point, I went in with some red oil. This soup requires oil, you know. Then I began to go in with my water leaf in batches. I also made sure to sieve these water leaves to get the excess water out of it. Then I began to stir that in to combine, and I also added some crayfish to it. I added the crayfish in 2 batches actually. Then I stirred that a couple of more times to combine. Then I covered to cook. Yeah, look at it, has reduced in quantity at this point. After about 2 minutes, I added extra red oil to the vegetable soup. Then I added the rest of the crayfish to it. This soup requires enough crayfish, you understand? Then I stirred that in to combine. With this soup, you have to do a lot of stirring. I added my smoked fish. There is this taste I am aiming for. Then I also combined it again. I proceeded to start adding the ugu batches, just like I did to the water leaf. I covered that to cook for a few minutes. Then I turned it. You don't need your vegetable to be soggy. You need something crunchy, you know. And that was that. I plated the soup. See, immediately after cooking your vegetables, take it out of the soup. You don't want to overcook it. The pot, sorry, because the more it stays inside the pot, the more the heat in the pot makes it softer.